Superman has finally been released to the world, and I've been riding that Superman hype train to read All-Star Superman. Now, All-Star Superman is regarded as one of the best Superman comics out there, but is one that I haven't read until now. It's written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Frank Whiteley. And after seeing Superman twice in theaters and reading All-Star Superman back to back, I thought it would be fun to go through all the Easter eggs and references in the movie. And so we're going to go over any references or possible nods to the comic. And if you do like the video, it would mean a lot. Leave a comment as to what your favorite Easter egg or nod is, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, as it really helps out the page. So without further ado, strap in, get some popcorn in that crypto popcorn bucket, and let's get into the Easter eggs. So let's start off with Lex Luthor. One of the first mentions we get in the book is of Perry White holding up a newspaper reading tomorrow's headline, Luthor lied, which of course in the movie towards the end we find out, and just like in All-Star Superman, just like his objective always is, it is to kill Superman. And we don't know how he's going to do this until we get into the later issues of All-Star Superman, similarly to how we get into the later parts of the movie and find out his plan to take out Superman. By creating the Baravian invasion, this way he would have a reason to kill Superman. Our next possible reference is Clark Kent arriving to the Daily Planet being late, and he walks right past Steve Lombard. Now, of course, this is just one of those classic Superman traits, but because it's possibly a reference, I'm going to include it. Now, the next reference is actually a big one for All-Star Superman. That is the Superman robots. They were great in All-Star Superman and actually serve a purpose, and they serve such an amazing purpose in the movie as well. And just like in the movie, they do have numbers in the comic as well. And the only big difference is that instead of robot number 4 having the most personality, we get robot number 7. Now, everything I've mentioned so far is pretty much in the first 2 issues. In issue 4, we get some charismatic energy from Jimmy Olsen that may have made it into the movie, but it's not really a direct reference, so I'm not including it. But when we jump over to issue 5, we get Lex Luthor and Clark Kent in prison. Clark is interviewing Lex as he's been sentenced to death, and we get 2 lines that are given in the movie. While walking through the prison, Clark would question Lex's unhealthy obsession with Superman, which is very similar to the line that Superman says when Lex takes him to the pocket universe in the movie. And just a few panels later, Lex would say brain beats brawn every time. This again is a line that's said in the movie a few times by both Lex and Superman. Now, while they're having the conversation in the prison, Parasite would break loose, and so Lex has to help Clark Kent escape the prison. And while Lex would open up a secret passageway on the floor, we see him shaking hands with a baboon in a Superman suit named Leopold. You could make the argument that this may have been the inspiration for Lex's monkeys in the Superman movie, the ones that were trashing Superman online. In the 6th issue, we get a conversation between a young Clark and Pa Kent before he passed away, and it's a pretty deep conversation. Now, of course, this is nothing new to the Superman mythos, but it's worth a mention. And towards the end of their conversation, Krypto would come back to Earth. Superman would pick up a tree and play fetch with Krypto, and we get to see them resting with each other on the moon looking down on Earth. Now, this 100% influenced the mid-credits scene of Superman and Krypto on the moon, and I love the fact that we got this in the movie as well, because I honestly thought they were just going to put it on the poster and move on, but they actually kept it in the movie as the mid-credits scene. Now, this next one is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a chance that it may have influenced some motives in the movie. In the 9th issue, Superman has been missing for 2 months, as he's been on a bizarro planet, and during his absence, Bar-El and Lilo of Krypton have decided to take his place. Now, these 2 are being called Earth's new champions, but they actually plan to revive Krypton on Earth, calling it New Krypton. And you could make the argument that these 2 influenced Jor-El and Lara's motives in the Superman movie, where they hoped Kal-El would procreate and start a new Krypton on Earth. Like I said, it's a bit of a stretch, but these 2 have similar motives. In issue 9, we also get more of Steve Lombard and him pranking and harassing Clark in the office, which we can see in the Superman film when he calls Clark a loser as soon as he enters the office. This next one is also a little bit of a stretch, but in issue 10, we get Meccano Man, and once Superman saves Lois from him, she would say he was on a wild electric goose chase for Luthor. It's possible that maybe this influenced the Hammer of Baravia, seeing as they're both men in big suits of armor. Like I said, it's a little bit of a stretch, but because it may have influenced something in the movie, I'm going to include it on the list. This next one is more of a fun fact than an Easter egg or nod, but in All-Star Superman, we do get Solaris, the Tyrant's son. And when we got our first look at David Cornsweet's Superman in that first look image, a lot of people were theorizing that Solaris was actually the pink orb that we saw outside of Clark's apartment. Now, of course, we know that isn't true now with hindsight, but it was a cool theory at the time, especially with how much they were saying All-Star Superman inspired their Superman for David. That is going to do it for all the hidden Easter eggs that I could find in All-Star Superman. I had a lot of fun reading All-Star Superman, and I still think the movie is amazing. And of course, these are just the Easter eggs that I was able to find in All-Star Superman. There may be plenty more, and there's definitely a bunch more from other Superman comics. But I want to know in the comments, what was your favorite Easter egg that was mentioned in this video, or what's one that you found that I missed? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe subscribe if you guys are new. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.